What 6 exercises will put the most muscle on you? Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today, but a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you are not subscribed or following, please do so. And if you would be kind enough to drop a comment down below under my video, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let's get over to the point. Which 6 exercises are going to put the most size on you? Some people are going to get really upset that I don't throw the standing press in here. So what I'm looking for this is a couple of criteria. Number one, when I say this, number one, do we work the most muscles possible? Now, obviously, your lower body lifts are not always going to do it because we've got to have some upper body stuff. So there's more upper body stuff than lower, just an FYI. Mainly because the upper body is more complex. The lower body has way more total muscle, way more muscle, but it's less complicated, it has fewer muscles. So that's why you're going to see that in the movements. But number one, does it work large amounts of muscles? Okay. If we're not working multiple major muscle groups and some stabilizers, it's not going to make the list. Okay. I want to see at least a minimum of 3 big muscles as a primary mover. If you don't see at least 3, not going to make the list, right? Number one. Number two, needs to have a relatively easy learning curve. So that's why power cleans, power snatches, push presses, okay, all that's going to go out. Not saying they're not good, they have a steeper learning curve. Okay, and that steep learning curve and the nature of those movements also makes it hard to do any sort of volume with them. To putting on size, right? Number two. Number three, they need to be easily progressively loadable, with muscles being the most likely cause of failure. Okay? So, example, a pistol squat is out. Okay, because at a very quick threshold, you can't load it. And guess what? Your balance starts to become a limiting factor before your quads oftentimes. Well, that's not good if we're trying to maximize muscle growth. So those criteria are work as many muscles as possible, but the lift has to work at least 3 primary movers as major muscles with stabilizers getting some decent stimulus. Okay, easy to learn, relatively easy to learn, and then relatively easy to load with those 3 primary muscles we're talking about being what fails. Okay, so what do we got? You guys saw the first 2. Barbell back squat, conventional deadlift. Straight up, these make sense, right? These make perfect sense. Why? They work the most muscles. The only studies we have on hypertrophy with the deadlift show it grew the upper body quite a bit. Okay? Now, would I say that on top of these 6 you need other stuff? Of course. I mean, most people are going to want some curls, some calf raises, maybe some sort of direct delt work, obviously all that stuff. Okay? But outside of that, growth is pretty good. Why? Squats and the deadlifts will grow your quads, glutes, hamstrings, adductors, your low back, some of your upper back, your calves, all that. Your calves will grow from those. They're not going to maximize your calves, but they'll grow. Unless you go off EMG studies, and then which we don't. If we were to use EMGs as the be-all, end-all, the back squat is the ultimate calf exercise. It beats calf raises, but it's an EMG. All right, upper body stuff, lat bench. Okay, and this is an easy one. Anyone who doesn't understand this doesn't understand how to bench. They don't know the history of it. They haven't looked at the data. Okay, works the entire chest, top to bottom, upper lower chest, if you perform it in a way to build muscle. Not saying bench like a power lifter. Notice I am not necessarily power benching here. This is really in a way bodybuilder benching, even though I'm pausing it with pass and meet. I'm not using any leverages. I'm just using my chest. Do a full range of motion, but still getting the delts and triceps. Okay, bench press, king of chest exercises for good reason, and many of Mr. Olympia has stated this was their favorite chest exercise. Plenty of researchers have pointed out that chest growth is phenomenal. So is the front delt growth and all of that. Okay, and the tricep isn't bad, depending upon which studies and stuff you look at. It's pretty decent. Okay. You'll see after this I've got the barbell row in there. It's not even my favorite back exercise, but why the barbell row do I have in there? Because the number of muscles it works. It's the jack of all trades for the back. I think pull-ups and chin-ups are slightly better for lats, but a barbell row actually gives you secondary stress to the lower body. Some of the posterior chain may actually grow from it, lower back can, but it works the entire back. It works lats pretty effectively. It works traps, and it works all three parts of the trap. It works the posterior delts, the rhomboids, all the erectors. Okay, it's a complete back exercise, and it's kind of a jack of all trades. Because again, what are we looking for? Are we looking for specialization? Or you want the jack of all trades, right? And you'll get some bicep from it, especially if you're doing an underhand grip like I'm doing here. Yes, that's 225, by the way, guys. Yes, I grip it raw dog with an underhand. So that's in there. How about weighted chins? People are like, I thought you loved weighted pull-ups. I love weighted pull-ups. I think weighted pull-ups inch out the chin up for the lats. Okay? But if we're talking overall muscle, you can build damn good lats off of weighted chins, especially if you get the stretch at the bottom. But it works the biceps. Most of us are a little stronger arms, so a little better grip, a little better forearm. The fact that we get that extra bicep activation while still working the whole back and the lats, weighted chins. If we're going to have to narrow it down to, which exercise puts the most muscle on you, I'm going to have to give the chin an inch out over the pull-up. And I love weighted pull-ups. Like, I have a hard-on for weighted pull-ups as a strength coach. They just get your back so wide. But, chins can do the same thing. But we get that extra arm activation. Probably a little better grip training, definitely better bicep training. Also gets a little bit of upper chest, some long head of the tricep, which can get neglected on some pressing. Okay, and then I'm going to throw, that's number 5. Number 6 can be weighted dips. Because then we're shoring up weak links, right? The weighted dips are going to give you yet another chest exercise. It's going to give you another front delt exercise. And all these upper body ones are going to hit some splash over to the side delts. Am I saying they're enough to maximize it? No, but we're just trying to put overall muscle on you. You're always going to have some weak points. No matter what we pick, something is going to have a weak point. But a weighted dip is like a squat for the upper body. And it also works all 3 heads of the tricep. Not necessarily saying it's optimal for long head, but it works the long head more than the bench does. We get a lot of chest. We get the chest from a different angle. All these stabilizers get used. Okay, the weighted dip really brings a lot to the table. So especially you pair that with a bench press, right? You pair that with a bench press. Think of your pecs and front delts are covered to a great extent your triceps, because we're getting a different angle on those triceps with the way it sits back there. So again, those two are really going to cover a lot of ground. Just like the chin up combined with the row, man, we're really covering a lot of ground. Okay, there's overlap, but we're getting a lot done here. So these are the 6 exercises I would say can put the most overall muscle on you. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.